goes on behind the cameras when filming a massive sci-fi epic like Dune? You thought the first part was juicy? Well, get ready to have your sandworm shaken and your sand trout stirred because we're diving even deeper into the secrets of Arrakis. In a recent wide-ranging interview, the star-studded cast opened up about the fun, challenges, and unexpected moments they experienced while making this cinematic masterpiece. Right off the bat, we learned that one of the biggest challenges director Denis Villeneuve faced was Timothée Chalamet's hair. That's right, the leading man's wild locks apparently had a mind of its own. As Villeneuve humorously recounts, "It's alive, and I had to direct Timothy, and I had to direct his haircut. It's impossible to say which one was harder." Can you imagine having to negotiate with an actor's hairstyle on a blockbuster film set? Thankfully, Chalamet's free spirit and musical talents provided an upbeat counterbalance. His co-star reveals, "Anybody who knows this man knows that he travels with sound. There's always some kind of music thanks to him. The Dune set was full of jams and dances." In fact, Chalamet and Zendaya would often organize impromptu dressing room dance parties, along with other cast members during downtimes. Doesn't that just sound like a blast? Though one actress in particular felt decidedly left out of the fun. While the young stars were busy cutting loose, veteran actress Rebecca Ferguson struggled to find her place among them at first. As she admits, it's not that they don't let you in, they just don't let you in. Despite attempting to bond with her co-stars like Oscar Isaac and Josh Brolin, Ferguson continually felt like the odd man out, describing it as making her feel this big. Imagine how alienating that must have felt. Ferguson's frustrations likely resonated with anyone who has ever felt excluded from a clique or peer group. Her solution? The actress took matters into her own hands by creating a group chat, where the cast could share family pictures and feel more connected off-set. Sometimes you have to be proactive about breaking through those social barriers. For up-and-coming star Zendaya, being cast as Chani in Dune was a hard-won achievement years in the making. Long before auditions began, she had fallen in love with the original novel and sci-fi classic. When I first heard that he was making this, I was like, oh, that's the character they're trying to cast? Okay, wait a minute. Not wasting any time, Zendaya began actively campaigning for the role, repeatedly asking to be considered and telling people, put my name out there. After a grueling audition process, including a chemistry read, she finally landed the coveted part. Talk about persistence paying off. Zendaya's steadfast determination demonstrates how much passion and commitment are required to make it as an actress in Hollywood. It's not enough to just want a role. You have to be willing to relentlessly pursue it, potentially for years, while facing constant rejection. For Zendaya, all that struggle was worth it to join the storied Dune franchise. One person undoubtedly thrilled by Zendaya's casting was her co-star Florence Pugh, who played Princess Arrakis. Though the two actresses had been each other's hype women on Instagram while building their respective careers, up until filming, they had never actually met in person. In her charming British way, Pugh describes how if anyone posts anything, we'd be like you look amazing, in supporting one another virtually. How wonderful that these talented young women could develop such a supportive bond before ever being in the same room together. Surely their real-life friendship only added extra sparkle to their on-screen relationship as characters. Just one more example of Hollywood's central ethos. Who you know and how you connect with others is just as important as raw talent itself. For Pugh, pressure to deliver arrived immediately. Her very first scene as Princess Arrakis involved an emotionally intense reading of the diary moment that kicks off the film. As the weight of that responsibility dawned on her, she recounts, "I was dead terrified about that. This is intense. Knowing this is going to be opening the movie. The mere thought would be enough to send even a seasoned actor's nerves into overdrive." Fortunately, Pugh absolutely nailed the pivotal sequence. Indeed, despite such an intimidating introduction, Florence Pugh refused to be phased, not even by acting across from a Hollywood icon like Christopher Walken, who portrayed the Emperor. It was like, by the way, your dad is Christopher Walken. And I was like, well, thank God. Rather than being starstruck, Pugh simply focused on the task at hand and connected with Walken, just talking about which donut he wants to eat in between takes. Her co-star Zendaya, on the other hand, admits she was too shy around the legendary actor. I genuinely was too nervous to talk to him. The juxtaposition highlights how different actors, even extremely talented ones, possess unique strategies for managing nerves and approaching their craft. Some, like Pugh, almost naively throw themselves into the work without trepidation, while others, such as Zendaya, still get flustered in the presence of the all-time greats. There's no right or wrong way to deal with intimidating situations, only personal preferences and coping mechanisms. For actors like Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa, bringing a dash of levity to the often brooding, intense atmosphere of Dune was crucial. In describing his towering, hulking co-star Dave Bautista, Brolin quips, "He's such a softie, the biggest softie ever. That's why in real life they have a very sweet relationship. I would never want to fight him. He's one of those guys you just want to cuddle up with." It's refreshing to learn that even massively muscular, physically imposing actors like Bautista can have gentle teddy bear souls. Maybe it's a protects the gentle spirit within kind of dynamic. Whatever the reason, Brolin's teasing depiction combats assumption that tough guy roles always equal similarly tough personalities. Similarly, Momoa showcased his signature, mischievous, playful brand of humor, even when accepting the role of Swordmaster Duncan Idaho. As he recounts the unbelievable moment, Villeneuve offered him the part out of nowhere. "The Dune director called me while I was at the top of a mountain filming for Aquaman. At first I was like, is this a joke?" Imagine receiving that career-making phone call from out of the blue, on a literal mountaintop no less. Most actors would be beside themselves with giddy disbelief, exactly as Momoa reacted before rushing down to FaceTime with Villeneuve and accept. By combining excitement, self-deprecation, and a touch of his characteristic playful cheekiness, he makes the once-in-a-lifetime anecdote even more amusing and endearing. Oh, and about the name Duncan Idaho, the cast had a field day roasting its inherent comedic value, with Brolin rifling, "It sounds like a joke, and it's not." Then you see Momoa, and you think he's a joke, but he's not. Constantly keeping the energy loose and laughing through even the most daunting of filming challenges is clearly the modus operandi for these freewheeling actors. Laughter truly is the best medicine for chasing away on-set boredom, tedium, and pressure. However, arguably the biggest hurdle for one cast member came from an entirely unexpected source: having too little to work with, facially speaking. For Austin Butler, the actor tasked with embodying the terrifying yet pivotal villain Fade Rotha, his lack of hair and eyebrows became a significant impediment. As he explains the conundrum, Butler found the absence of hair and eyebrows to be so liberating. Yet it presented the challenge of delivering a captivatingly sinister performance with fewer expressive tools at his disposal. Fans buzzed over how Fade constantly licks a knife before a fight in the film, but even Butler himself admits, "I just don't remember where that idea came from." Few films in recent memory have also sparked as many viral trends and online parodies as Dune. Arguably the biggest being the Dune popcorn bucket phenomenon launched by an SNL sketch depicting audience members struggling to eat popcorn out of an impractically shaped vessel modeled after the iconic sandworm creatures. When asked about the buzz-worthy trend, the cast had a variety of hilarious hot takes. Brolin outright refused to indulge in the bit, stating, "I'm not going to stick my hand in there like I'm good, I'll starve." Zendaya and Pugh were similarly apprehensive about interacting with the bizarre bucket, the former calling it kinda gross and the latter labeling it not okay. Meanwhile, Ferguson admitted to being utterly confused by what the trend even represented. "I'm not sure what's going on. What is it yet?" Only the younger, more free-spirited Chalamet appeared unshaken, diving right in to embrace the meme-fied snack receptacle without hesitation or fear. His comically laissez-faire response highlights the divergent generational attitude and self-awareness regarding internet fame and pop culture prevalence. That's a wrap on our journey through the sands of Dune. Thanks for joining us as we uncover the secrets behind the scenes. Don't miss out on future spice-filled adventures. Subscribe, like, and hit that bell. Keep the speculation alive